recording this in the car, so it's going to be a short little podcast episode. But really, I wanted to talk about just defining your work. So I realised I hadn't actually defined any of the things that I create, like my podcast. And I think that's why maybe it's felt a little bit lost and it hasn't had really any direction. So I thought for episode 10, right, I want to define it properly. And so after just writing down one little definition for the podcast, ideas started flowing because I knew straight away what direction I wanted to go in. So for ComposerCast, I want it to be about the overarching theme. I want it to be about following my journey of becoming a video game composer. And whether I succeed or fail doesn't really matter, as long as I'm following the journey. So straight away, this gives me a direction and things to talk about. So things that I want to talk about, like how to network. I think I did a little bit on that, but I want to do a lot more. What events to go to. I want to do some interviews with composers out there. I want to talk about how music is actually used in games. I want to do some analysis of the theory in game tracks. I want to look at the history of video game music. I want to give tips on how to record instruments, how to make MIDI music sound realistic, how to write for orchestra, how to mix music. And that's just a few of the ideas I had. And they all came from just writing down the one little thing and just defining what I want the podcast to be. So I want it to be about following my journey of becoming a video game composer. So once I'd written that out, I thought, I've got it for that. That was good. Why don't I do it for other stuff? And again, my Instagram account has just been I've been putting up maybe some photos of food and pictures of quotes or whatever. And yeah, it's all been a bit over the place. So Instagram will be more of a documenting platform rather than pretty pictures as much. I want it to be a documenting platform for me, but I still want to make the effort for all my photos to look nice and cohesive. If they're all if they're all on the page, I want them to all have the same theme. So I wrote down for that one that I want to document my journey as a composer in pictures. So that's the little definition for what I want Instagram to be. And then from that, I thought, I can pick a favorite filter from. I use an app called Visco, I think is how you say it. It's VSCO. So I want to pick a favorite filter from that and try and stick to using just that one filter on all my photos to give them a nice cohesive look. I could use it for maybe 5-10 photos or a couple of weeks or something, and then I could move on to another one. But I want them all to look like they all belong there. And I want to post help sheets. I did one for the Circle of Fifths, which just explains it's cool guys drive and eat bacon. And if you remember that, you'll know what key you're in by looking at how many sharps are at the beginning of a piece of music. And I made a little post about that. So it's something that adds value to people as well as just pretty pictures. And then the final one, defining what kind of music I write. Because people always ask you, they go, so what type of music do you do? And I always stand there and I go, well, it's a bit of this, it's a bit of that. I never have anything definitive. So I thought, okay, one more time I'll define something. Let's just try and write something out. And I wanted to focus on what I enjoy writing and then combine that with what I think I'm maybe good at writing and meet somewhere in the middle. So as a definition of my music, and any music definition is going to sound pompous, I think. So the one I come up with is melodic retro synth with an orchestral style of arrangement. I thought that pretty much sums it up. I like writing retro stuff, snares and PS1 kind of music, but I use some orchestral instruments, and I really like the way orchestras are arranged, and studying how you do things in doubles, and these instruments work together and these tones work together, and so I thought that would be quite a good definition. But again, it gives me something to focus on, so I'm not just going all over the place with my music. I'm not doing a bit of horror. I suck at horror, so I'm not going to be doing that anyway. But I'm not going to be writing horror and then the next day be writing, some hip-hop stuff. Two things I completely suck at. So yeah, gives me direction, and I can focus on what I'm good at, but still get better and focus on stuff that I enjoy, really. So super short podcast, and I think the conclusion of it is you want to define your work before you set out to do it, so that you're not posting and creating aimlessly. So if you're just setting up an Instagram account, I'm sure you're not, I'm sure you've already got one, or if you are just setting up an Instagram or a Twitter account or whatever, try and define what it is you want to achieve, or like the niche that you want to work in, or what it is that you enjoy. Just define it beforehand, so then you just have better content, really. And yeah, I think that is it. Nice short episode, and tomorrow I'll be recording my first ever guest on the podcast, where we'll be looking at video game music and the narrative of music and how it fits in with the story. So I look forward to that. Alright, thanks for listening. Bye.